hello, hello. Happy Sunday. Hope you're having a good weekend. I am. It's been actually not too bad weather-wise. I mean, it's supposed to be hot and we're still in the country. We get a breeze. We have a front porch that faces north, so it's shaded. You get what I'm saying. If I had to be out in the sun working, I'd be warm, but I don't. And of course, we have air conditioning in the house, which I've cranked down a little bit today, right now, while I'm streaming. I get hot in here. This fancy computer that I have over here has a fan, and of course, it's blowing all its hot air on me. Right. So it gets a little warm in here. I do like to close the door. It just is a reminder to hubby that I'm streaming. It's easier in the long run. So, how is everybody? What you doing? I hope people come and chat. I'm in the chatty mood today. I am going to do some scanning first, and I wasn't really sure if that was a word. The typing um, God didn't think so. It underlined it, saying, "You sure you mean this?" But you know, the two ply is on a bobbin, and I got to make it into a skein. So I'm going to do scanning, and I have two of these to do, and then I have two bobbins on Roberta that is the locks, Shetland locks, I think, and just a little bit. I gotta apply that, so I'll be plying, and then I'll just be spinning. And I have a project that I want to start on the Roberta and a project that I want to start on the Nano. So I am ready to go, more or less. Let me change my camera. I can't get comfortable today. I'm fussing with my back. It's not really happy for some reason. All right, let me get, let me do the, I'm going to run out of bobbins if I don't. I'm going to do this plying first. So I have my bobbins empty. That makes sense, doesn't it? Let's do it practical, not necessarily the way I said. Yeah, I keep talking about it. I have got to move this table that's behind me. It is just too tight of a fit in here with it in here. I liked having, and see, I just said that, and then what I really want to do tomorrow is start combing a whole bunch of fiber. Seriously, about 5 different fibers needs combed. So I can take the combing, set up outside, and it's like I said, it's not unpleasant on the porch to work. I picked fiber yesterday. I picked a Jacob. No, no. Why can't I? It's a Shetland. It's another. This is. I have had years of Shetland. I tell you, I have so much Shetland fiber around. Um, yeah, it's the black and white yin yang Shetland that I have been messing with. Well, there was black parts and there were white parts, but there were parts that were basically both, right? Both black and white. And I didn't want to put those in the black or the white. So I made its own little bag. I've got two bags, one that's mostly black but white mixed with it, and one that there's very little of that, and mostly white with little bits of gray mostly in it. So that is what I picked and is the first thing I want to comb. And then I have 3 different colors of blue wool, and let's see, I think it's a Corriedale that I want to comb. I could drum card those. I have so much drum carded fiber that is ready for the Turtle Fleece, which starts Friday. I don't know if I'll stream on Friday or not to start it out. We'll see. See how I feel because I'm streaming. I mean, I could not do the Thursday night and do the Friday morning. That'd be kind of fun. More people come at night though when I'm streaming. Anyway, um, those need combs. So that's um, three, three. So that's five right there. And then I have the black Shetland and the white Shetland. So that's seven different fibers that need combed that I know that are immediately ready and available. And like I said, I have so much already carded and carded. Fiber makes a certain kind of yarn, right? You get a worsted, you get a little thicker, bouncier, and combed makes a nicer lace weight. One of the things is I want a lot of comb top because of since my Ara is still not working, I am getting my Ashford up and running, and it has a lace flyer on it. So I should be able to make some nice, really nice thin Shetland yarn if I do a whole bunch of that combing of that black and white. The blue Cordell is less fine. It's not bad, but you know, it still would spin up really nice, just maybe not as thick as a lace weight. But back to what I was saying. If I want to set it up someplace that I can come and go with, I really need to leave this table up and set it up in here. Yeah, everything is piled in this room because hubby gets a little upset when it's like he sees fiber everywhere in the house. So I kind of organize it into here, and it's boxed up around my drum carder right now as far as all those bats to spin. So I'm looking forward to Turtle Fleece. I always do. Of course, I have not been spinning every day, and it will take some discipline to get back to that. It doesn't have to be long. Just be a little bit. I try to watch the Turtle Fleece, live, but I get behind so fast that I just go ahead and DVR it, watch it later. This is not bad. This is Shetland locks, those great big long locks that I was combing out, and this isn't bad. It's a little rough because I'm doing a worsted and it's tight. It's kind of fuzzy. It's pretty fuzzy for a Shetland. It's really fuzzy, actually. So I started a knitting project just a couple hours ago. I'm so loving it. I'm making a gift for my sister-in-law, and it is with a skein of handspun yarn that I did that was cashmere silk. The yarn is amazing. It's just so soft, and it's a really pretty blue-gray. I think she'll like the color. I mean, it's not like I know her really well because I don't get to socialize with her much, hardly at all. They don't live close. We only get to see them maybe once or twice a year. And when we get to see them, we don't spend time with them. We visit briefly over a breakfast or supper. They are both working two jobs. So they're working total of four jobs between the two of them. And they just, that's their life right now is just to work every day and be at work and that sort of thing. So that we can stay in touch with texting and everything. Anyway, I decided that I really wanted to make her a scarf, and I found this pattern called Dimity. I love it. It's in what's it in? It's in a book that is like gifts. Anyway, I'll be showing it Tuesday. I'm not going to bother with a link or anything right now because I'll be showing it on Tuesday because I'll be knitting on it on Tuesday. And so it starts out with 5 stitches and it has this set pattern and every pattern, every other row is knit. Okay. And every pattern row between that, you end up making like a picot, not a picot, bobble at the end of the row because you knit across, to your end and you knit 3. No, you knit the knit row and then you turn and you go to the end of that row and I got too much twist going in the, I got little twist crinkles here. I'm not going to get them out either. Oh well. Um, so at the end of the next row, you knit 3, turn, knit back to those 3, and then your pattern row at the end takes 2 stitches, one off the end, and then the next stitch off the end. So you've made a bobble, right, on the end. It's cute. It really is cute. And this is, of course, the very bottom of the scarf, the edging down at the bottom. Oh, I'm done here on the one bobbin. That didn't take long. Well, it's 5 stitches, and every pattern row you increase. So you're going to have 6 stitches the next time, 7 stitches. I mean, it should be like a piece of cake, right? And man, I started and cast on those 5 stitches 3 times trying to get that going. Once I got it going, it's not so bad. It's a pretty quick knit, really. At least that part has been pretty quick. Anyway, I was like, oh, come on, get it together. Pay attention, pay attention. Oh, this had a lot of twist in it. That happens with lock spinning because you're manipulating the fiber a lot with the lock. And that takes time, right? And so your spinning wheel, my spinning wheel is still going the whole time, right? This isn't gonna, it's not worth it. It's come undone. Oh well. Maybe I can make a little one here. Little test skein. There isn't that much left. Yeah, that had a lot of extra twist in it. And come on. Maybe going in the trash can. Come on. You can do this. I know you can. There you go. Very loosely spun, but it did self-ply on itself. Eventually, after I got going. It's pretty loose, but that's great. Oh yeah, especially down here at the bottom. Get rid of that. Okay, I could skein that, or yeah, I could skein that one off too. Oh, goodness. All right, let's do the green. This was spun on the Roberta. It's 100% silk. It's a 2-ply. I need bands for the well, I mean, oh, I think I put them over here. Yep, there we go. Here's my bands. Okay. I'm just going to do the 1 yard. There's not that much here. But I got to count. So. That's 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Each wraparound is a yard. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 39, 40, 42, 43, 4, 5, 6, 7, 38, 49, 50, 51, 52, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69. How about that? 70, 71. More here than I thought. 72, 73, 74, 75 yards. I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, that's very typical for my Roberta bobbins. But it wasn't so much that I was going by a full bobbin, it was that I was what fiber I had. All right. So a lot here, a lot of extra here. A lot of meat. Oh yeah, it'll meet this way. All right, let me write that down before I forget. 75 yards to ply. Okay, now we're going to do the walnut dyed. And I'll have, well, let's see, I have the white, then I'll have just one Roberta bobbin. This I spun on the Nano because there was just so little, and I mean, I'm hardly going to get anything out of here. What happened was when I did the walnut dye, I had a leftover pot. I mean, I had dye. Walnut dye lasts forever. Now, I just thought, well, I'm going to throw some of the green stuff in and see what happens. And I got this red. But I didn't put very much fiber in there because I wasn't expecting a nice result. I thought maybe I'd get black or something, but and you know what? I haven't been counting. I shouldn't talk. Okay, let me count this. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Aw, just 19 yards. And, you know, like I said, I did on the Nano because I actually combed it into top and there was just 0.5, 0.5 ounce. So it was a total of 1 ounce split over 2 bobbins. Not very much. Too bad. It's always the pretty stuff that don't have much of. So that's 19 yards to ply. I will be putting tags on this. I do my white though. And then I have my bobbins taken care of. I need to spin these 8 roll logs. Oops. I'll move the camera. These 8 roll logs on a nano to go with the bobbin that's on the nano. I'm not going to take it over here. So I need to, that's a nano project. And then I have an ounce of fiber to spin on the Roberta. It'd be nice if I got both of them done today. I don't know if I will or not. All right, this is a little harder when I have another one already on here. But one, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Close enough. Lost my scissors. Huh. There they are. I will deal with these later as far as putting them up. Putting, oh, don't. Okay. All right. I think we're ready to spin. So this is sure I get the right name. I think this is Manos. Yeah, this is Manos de Uruguay. It's pretty... Oh, I'm on the wrong camera. It's a lot darker than it looks there. The light makes it look more pastel than it is. It really is various golds and maroons and a little bit of blues and that sort of thing. That's because I'll show you the fiber. And you know, I save the fiber when I spin stuff now because the state fair requires it. So you can see, it looks pretty pastel there, but when you two-ply it with itself, you end up getting the darker, a little bit darker. Anyway, I have that, and that's all 1 ounce on one bob, and so I'm going to do another ounce, and this is it right here, to ply with it, so that I'll have a little bit more yardage than what I'm getting. Now, these are 1 ounce samples that came from the Fiber Exchange last fall. This came from Birding Mom. And this one is Malabrigo, and it's so soft, and it's deep purple. Okay, really on the outside, but then on the inside you can see it's got areas that get kind of light. So this is going to get spun on the Roberta. That's going to make a pretty yarn. Let me open this up and get it stripped out for spinning. I'll save some of it. Like that. Some of the real dark too. There we go. Sabaduria. That's the color. Wonder who makes up their names. Their fiber names. Okay, I'm intrigued. I have a purple thread hanging out of this basket, and I don't know what it is. What is this? It's attached down here. Is that the end of it? Oh, it's just purple yarn. When did I get... Oh, something must have been tied. A bag was probably tied with it. It's like, what is that purple hanging out of all that white fiber? Okay. Mystery solved. Okay, I gotta decide if I want to start with purple end is going to be easier to start with. This end is the cut end. So I'm going to start with the purple end, not the pink maroon. Oh my God, and that went right down into the middle of from the outside to the middle. Good grief. All right, let's strip it first this way. So Friday night we did go to our park in downtown and see a Shakespeare. We were expecting to see Twelfth Night. It was my senior moment error because I just didn't even pay attention. I saw that they were having a show and I knew the first one was Twelfth Night, and I thought that's what it was going to be. It was Richard III, which was the one I wasn't going to go see. Oh well. It was okay. I decided to only stay for half of it. It is a free venue, right? So, we didn't technically pay for it, although they do pass the hat, and we made sure we stayed through that and put our little bit of money in there for them. It is their 70th something year to do this. Obviously it's not the same actors, but still it's become a community thing that is way beyond just these three Shakespeare that they do in the summertime from June through August. They go out to the schools and they teach. They do what they call Shakes classes, which are during Shakes camps, which are during the summer, where the kids get together and by age, they have various ages and they go for a period of time. And each one of those ages had a little play. That was part of one of the reasons we went ahead and left was we were there an hour earlier and we sat through all that and it was adorable. I got a lot of knitting done, but they're the littlest ones. I mean, it's like going to any school play, right? It just was really, really funny with the littlest ones. There was small, medium, and large. So the next age up, they're not the oldest, but they're saying a lot of lines. I mean, they're doing actual Shakespeare lines and stuff like that. But they're who needs to be where, when, and they're blocking and all of that. It was just kind of one bunch moved over here, then one bunch moved here, then one bunch moved here, and at one point there were two girls that were talking to each other, and the one girl sat down and the other one she went totally out of character. It's not time to do that yet. Oh man. It's a marvelous thing that they're doing it. These are the future actors, and if not, they will at least really so much to learn. One, we don't just talk English slang. Two, humor can be extremely subtle if you really pay attention. Three, it wasn't time to do that yet. All of this stuff, right? I was really pleased to have seen that. There were so many good actors. in Richard III, and all of them, all their actors are always really good. Um, but I had not. I purposely avoid a lot of the Shakespeare more political ones, right? I want the comedies, or maybe the drama like Othello or whatever. Um, so the King ones I have not gone to very much, and it was okay. I get a good gist of what was going on, and I was like, yeah, I like this main character that Shakespeare thought up, Richard III. So it was worth going for that reason. Anyway, it was fun. We had a good time. Did it Bard style and bought it. Went to Subway and got sandwiches. Sat and ate. I did a lot of knitting because it stays daylight. That was Friday night. I really, really do have to go see Twelfth Night, and I will have a chance again. Fortunately, they bring them all back. Um, they do three, so there's Twelfth Night, Richard III, and the Merry Wives of Windsor. And what blows my mind is after they do a run of each one of them for about 2 weeks, then they do at least a week or 2 weeks, mostly 2 weeks, I think, of one after the other. Now, I'm talking Twelfth Night. The next night is Richard III. Next night is Merry Windsor. Next night is Twelfth Night. Next night is. You see what I'm saying? If there are actors who are in both of them, which is common. I mean, it's maybe they didn't do that as much this year, but that's a heavy schedule. Okay. I'll be spinning here in a minute. I'm still pre-drafting this. This is a extra fine merino. That's what Malabrigo is. And doesn't always want to draft real good. Oh my goodness, there's a lot here. I still got 2 more to draft. This is messy on the end. Let's see, what else? I learned something about fiber and feeding sheep. How to get what happens with fiber on a sheep as far as how they're fed. I know that sounds like a no-brainer, but what I didn't know, what I learned, and then after I tell you, I'll tell you how I learned it. If you overfeed on protein, you get thicker fiber diameter. And if you get thicker fiber diameter, you usually get coarser wool. Now, this is like within the sheep itself, right? Not breed. I'm not talking breed. Like, this only happens to Shetlands or whatever. This happens to the animal. And the reason is because the animal has a certain nutritional protein need, and then after a certain point you exceed that and it doesn't know where to go with it, and so it puts it into the fiber. Now, where I learned this was I'm in the process of cleaning 30 years worth of stuff, right? A lot of it is upstairs in what is my craft room. And I had over 2011 through 2016, I had gotten a magazine called Hobby Farm. It was a pretty good magazine. I mean, I was young enough, I was still doing a fair amount of stuff. And there were things in there that I wanted to do, like raise chickens and all that kind of stuff. So, well, I looked at those and I thought, yes, it's time for those to go to a different home because I'm just not going to be doing that. And before I put them in a bag to pass them on, I went through them all. And, I ended up reading a fair number of articles, but that was one of the articles was about somebody asked a question it was more, I think, a response to a question like, this sheep had really nice fiber last year and now it doesn't. What happened? And I increased its feed was one of the things they said, and that's why it got the response. So there, now you know. Useless tidbit of information if you're never going to raise sheep, but that's the kind of stuff I like. I tend to work upstairs more in the winter. That's because we close off the vents. We don't heat or cool it up there. And I could open the vents if I'm going to be up there, but in general, the heat rises right up the big staircase that we have. So it's always warm in the winter, but it gets too warm in the summer. I opened up the windows because it was gloriously cool yesterday morning and let some of that cool air in, and I stayed up there till about 1 o'clock. So, at that point it got too warm. And I try to do that at least once a week. It's a slow process. There's so much. There is so much. I have all of, I mean, I have years and years and years of the Spin-off magazine. And at one point, I transferred my subscription to digital. So I get it on Zenio now, digitally. And it's okay. I don't like it as well, but if I do have to downsize, it's a good thing. And when I did that, I thought I would be just starting with the digital current copy. And I opened that up one day, and there was years and years and years of spin-off digital copy. So now that I have that in the, and it's a duplicate of what I have. So I'm trying to talk myself into, putting them up for trade or sell. But oh, I have a terrible time letting go of stuff, don't I? I'm just lucky I'm working through all the fiber. Oh, see, okay. I got really short stuff at the very end of this. That's why I wanted it to be on the end. Ooh, this is pretty. Purple. So pretty. So soft. Uh-oh. All wrapped around each other here. They were predicting thunderstorms for right around now. I was going to say if I lose my internet, I probably won't come back uh, right away. But so far, I haven't heard anything. What's it say on my thing? It just says cloudy, which isn't a bad thing. That's keeping the heat down. I dug out two 4-ounce braids that match to spin on during the Tour de Fleece, just because everything I have is home processed, and I need to give myself a break from that, a reward. I can always get more, but I didn't want to get a whole bunch out that I probably wasn't going to do. Hubby thinks he can fix the aura. He's going to buy a bonding agent and put it where those two parts go together so they bond. These parts don't have to rotate, right? It's stationary, so it should be all right. It's more a question of whether it'll hold it, right? If it actually will hold it. I have not heard anything from anybody about getting the parts, so I should have, if it works. Excuse me. I ate my lunch right before I got online. If it works, I should have my aura, which I really, really want for my big bats, right? Those woolen spun are going to end up being probably 8 wraps per inch. I mean, they're going to be pretty chunky. I won't call them bulky, but close. That's what I have to do also. Starting tomorrow before Friday. I got to get pictures of all of this. I'll put it in my Discord. There's my project for tomorrow. Except we were going to run into town, mostly just to go to Lowe's. And once the tour starts, we are going up to see my brother. We will be gone 3 days of it, but I'll take my Nano. It'll be fun. Takes about 7 hours to drive up there. The only thing that's kind of up in the air is one of the things I wanted to do when I went up there was go to my hometown and the vicinity around it, because places I want to do is around it. But I don't know what they're gonna. I don't know if they're gonna be open. With the only day I can do that is Sunday. We're gonna drive up Saturday. We will have Sunday to do all that and drive back Monday. So, you know, if they're open Sunday, I'll be able to go. There's a candy factory. There is a big flea market. Supposed to be 7 days a week, so it should be open. There is an Amish run or Mennonite run fabric store that is just amazing. Especially if you're a quilter. I have avoided that hobby to any big extremes. I've done a few things, right? But oh my gosh, I love their fabrics. I mean, I love fat quarters, and I love piecing geometric patterns, quilt patterns. Not so much applique, but like the pinwheels and that the grandmother's flower garden is so pretty, but that's more like you make your circle and applique. In other words, I don't want to sit at a sewing machine to make a quilt, and it takes forever to make a quilt by hand. And I am not set up at all to do any kind of quilting. I have an big oval frame, right? But that's all. I don't have a regular quilting frame. So I am not a quilter. However, I'm going there. I just, drool over the fabric. Who knows what I'll find. Let's see, what else is there? There used to be a really, really, really old-fashioned hardware. If that's still open, I'll be surprised. I mean, it's been 10, 15 years since it was open then, 10, 15 years ago. But anyway, the person that opened it can't be alive. He was old when I was a kid, right? So I don't really know what happened with that. You can probably don't need to do this. If I go to the flea market, they'll probably have vegetable stands, but the area around there is called the muck, and it's what used to be swampland that is drained, and it is this beautiful loamy black soil. That's why they call it the muck. And they have, I mean, that's been there forever. My grandfather, as a 30-year-old in the Depression, worked for a farmer out there in the muck, and it's always been raising produce and vegetables, and that's just always fun. Go out there and get, oh my gosh, get all these amazing vegetables. So I have a list. I don't know what I'll be able to do. All right, after I do this one, I'm going to take a stretch break. Get some water. It is also, before this week I have got to register for the state fair if I want to take any yarn spinning in, and I have decided I'm going to do it. There's a part of me that I'm not conventional, right? Everybody wants to just do the absolute best they can to get that ribbon. I'm more about let's show the judge this, all right? Or I'm just a little more open-minded and broad-minded about what I want to do, whether I'm going to win a ribbon or not. So this year, I found. Oh, I have some on the floor. Good grief. Whole bunches on the floor. How did that happen? Okay. Might be the... Oh, I see. It's okay. It drafted out that long. And this is a partial. It didn't draft that long. Okay. Okay. What I would like to do is I found these most amazing brown border Leicester locks. I mean, they are just corkscrew gorgeous and long. So I want to make this great big, I want to make a skein of tailspun yarn, which attaches these locks by the tail of the lock, and you get these locks sticking out all over the yarn. That's my, I'd have to put it in the novelty yarn thing, right? They have no other category really for it. But I don't want to just do that. I want to make a whole bunch of it, have enough to have a skein to enter, but I also want to knit a pair of, I want to knit something with it, with the lock spun yarn, so that I show that it can actually be used, right? This is not just crazy yarn that you're making, it can actually be used. I'm trying to decide what to knit, you know? If it can't be like a hat unless, okay, the brim can be solid, something else, and the hat could be all these locks. Then it would just like, right, all over. That might be cute. Um, the very top of your standard grandma slipper pattern, and this would be harder to knit, but like over the arch of the foot, over the foot and all that. Not the sole could be the locks. But I think that it wouldn't wear really well. And then, of course, then there's your standard scarf, right? Which I like the idea of a scarf. I'm okay with the idea of a hat. I like the idea of a scarf, but I don't want it just these locks laying down. I'm trying to think of a way to construct it so that they are a little more visually interesting, if that makes sense. So I've been mulling this all day, right? This is what happens. Okay, so there are 6 or 7 categories. I can't do the novice category obviously anymore, but there are like 6 or 7 categories that I can enter, and they are 100% wool, skein, 2 to 5 ounces, plied. 50% wool, 50% natural fiber, like bamboo, or no, a natural fiber, and then 100% man-made fiber, like Tencel, that sort of thing. But they should be 2 to 5 ounces, any ply you want, with the exception of one of them, which says specifically 2-ply. Boring. Yeah, it's not bad. You can make very, very beautiful yarn, but it's what I do all the time. It's the art yarn, which I cannot make. I can't make a coil spun or I'm just really lousy at what everybody else calls a art yarn. And I get all hung up on, what do I want to do? And the last category is dyed fiber. And it should be recent, right? I can't use anything that I dyed years ago. My last dye, I had a pretty bad failure with Cormo. And there was another fiber, and I think it's probably okay. So I might be able to work that up. But again, how do you work it up? First of all, do you just pick it open? I've never submitted it picked open. I've always submitted it processed somehow, right? It doesn't say in the regulation book whether it should be processed or not. Maybe I ought to try just picked fiber this year. I don't know what they'd say about that. Because ultimately, I like to only do comb top because comb top looks the prettiest and best, right? Gets all that junk out. Well, I guess I need to get that out to comb. I have a hot pink. I don't remember when I dyed that. I think it's been too long ago. The fair runs August 18th through the 28th. You take your items in August 15th or whatever the Saturday, Sunday is before the 18th of August. That's how they do it. And you have to go back the Monday after the fair closes on the Sunday, so the 29th. You have to go back on the 29th and pick your stuff up. One year, I won pretty much a ribbon in every category, and they total so many points, and I actually got the sweepstakes ribbon. I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool, especially because they give you a fleece when you win the sweepstakes. And you have a nice, great big rosette ribbon. But I don't put a whole lot of effort into it. I probably put a lot more effort into it that year than I usually do. Hey, Veggie, just for you, purples. If you like purple so much, why is your the veg you're green because it's veggie, right? You are welcome. How you doing? What you doing? This is Malabrigo, by the way. It's soft. You got plans for Tour de Fleece? Fiber goals? That's all I've been talking about lately. You mostly about blues? Oh, okay. I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. I am. I'm doing real good. Most of the time just chilling. Not doing much except some of the fun stuff. Hubby keeps, I won't say he's breaking the mowers. The mowers just keep breaking ahead of what he can fix them. There are two of them, and usually when there's two, we both mow. And now it's like one's always down or whatever. And I told him I would mow. I've been volunteering to mow, and he's been saying no, and I'm fine with that. Like, that's fine with me. So, haven't had a lot of obligation on the home front. Hi, crafty lady. Welcome. You've been trying to hype yourself into Tour de Fleece. If you don't hurry, I'll miss it. Yeah. Don't blink. It's 3 weeks. It's actually really long. The one that gets me is that when they were doing Spinzilla in October, I gave up on that one. I was like, I can't even get ready by the time it's over. You know? And how are you, crafty lady? Good to see you. Oh, there's a bump in the fiber. To mow you where you are, you got to wake up at the crack of dawn because it warms up so early. Yeah, we get so much dew. We don't start mowing till afternoon because that dew has to dry or it'll just clump really bad. Hubby's also been working on several bigger limbs that have come down during the recent storms, and that's out by our front field, which is in young soybeans right now. The deer love the soybeans. So, and they're also having babies. So he's out there about halfway down the field, down our lane by the field, and was standing there, and this baby doe comes walking right up to him. I think it was probably walking with his head down or grazing or something, because he said he did this look up at him and like, oh, what are you? And went running off across the bean field, which is where mom would have been, across the field in the tree line by the creek, right? That when the mother went, I don't know. And why the baby was taking so long, I don't know. But he says it was a moment. You know, this doe looking up at him going, blink, blink. Positively crafty. Hello. Let's see. Crafty Lady says you got your CPW out to the deck this morning and gave her a spa treatment. Oh, Murphy's oil soap and then tongue oil. Then spun a good amount of Romney fleece. Now she's ready for Tour de Fleece. Oh, that sounds wonderful. That sounds delightful. Positive and crafty, welcome. Good to see you. You're going to do some lurking and do some beading. Well, okay, that sounds fun. Nice, lovely Sunday project. Veggie, have you been neglecting your Lindrum? Yeah. Yes, I'm gonna get my Ashford out tomorrow, and it needs a spa treatment. It gets wood oil on it. It's an unfinished, so I use a wood oil on it. It definitely needs that. I keep telling it is a obstinate wheel. All right, it just has the opinion of whether it's going to spin or not, and I keep telling it, I'm going to make you look good and you're going to feel good, so get over it and spin. Has nothing to do with the fact that it's from something like 1976 or something like that, 77. Because old spinning wheels, if they're good to begin with, stay good. Yeah, I hear ya. The 6.0 is really nice, isn't it? Your CPWs from the 1870s, amazing. That tells you right there. If it's a good wheel, it'll stay good. If you take care of it, I mean, if it doesn't get actual broken bits. I guess that's what's wrong with my RI. Much too modern of a wheel. I mean, compared to that, my Ashford is young. You're the third owner of your Lendrum. I wish it knew when it was made. I don't think it was marked anywhere like some other wheels. Huh. Yeah. Where is Lendrum manufactured? I don't really know. Canada. Oh, okay. Yay. Well, this is half of it anyway. Takes me forever to spin 1 ounce. when I'm sending this thin. Oh, that's so pretty. Can you see it? Oh man, that's pretty. Must have water. Ashford traditionals don't have any kind of markings. I don't know about other Ashford wheels, but the R was the first one that I got that actually had a maker's name and date on it underneath the treadle. The Robertas, that electric doesn't have anything. It's more uncommon to mark them, really. I don't know about the antique wheels. I mean the true 1800, early 1900 wheels, um, and the great wheels and things like that. I don't know if they mark them or not. Um, I have a friend that has two great wheels. I could ask her. Mm. Oh. Quite a few of the old CPWs have marks, and some great wheels too. Veggie says, I think the Saxonies might have a mark, but don't quote you. Well, I won't. We just talking. Somebody with a. My daughter has a. I don't know what she has a Lendrum, but I don't know what type it is. Others have been sanded off over the years. Oh, and repainted and stuff. Well, yeah. I could see that happening. Oops. You have a book on Quebec wheels. That's fun. It was put together by a few ladies and it has a link on Ravelry. It has a history of the makers. They could research and pictures of the different wheels and marks. Just Quebec, though. You know, that's mind-blowing. It's a great reference, yeah. You can actually identify some wheels based on how they were made and the shape of their turnings and spindles and legs, because I guess every woodworker sort of had a trademark. not enough people making wheels anymore. Of course, there's not enough people spinning either. I mean, that was sort of a household staple, right? You had to have, you may have inherited the wheel, but you had to have a wheel to deal with the fleece. What I like is people who preserve history of places and things and people, and the preservationists, the historians, I just I really admire that. Well, there will not be spinning of green silk today. This is going to take up the rest of my time here for today. So I'm sitting here thinking about tailspun yarn, where you spin a lock into your single, or you're plying two singles and you stick a lock in between the two signals. That's singles. That's how I do it. Okay. Because I don't like dealing with a final single ply with these locks on it. I want the base yarn to be balanced. But I'm sitting here thinking about making something with that. If I envision a scarf and I'm trying to get some kind of pattern to occur with the locks. Let's say, you know, I have the width of the scarf going up like this, and I want a line of locks going at a diagonal, right? Each row a little bit over across the width of the scarf. That would be really cool. My biggest problem is, how do I get the length of two ply that doesn't have a lock to knit enough until I'm ready for a lock? It's not like a bead, right, where you can slide a bead onto wherever you need it. So I got this thought, wonder if I could knit the lock into the knitting, or attach the lock to the yarn at the point I want it. Sort of the same thing in many ways. Does that make sense? Anybody ever done that? Anybody ever seen anybody do that? I could needle felt it in, yes. But the locks are really long, and I can end up with, I don't know, I may experiment a little bit on stream sometime with what I'm trying to do. And the more I mess with it, the more I'll figure it out. But if I'm knitting and I'm at a point where I want a lock, I have this long lock, but I have a lot of fluffy end that can be just finger twisted, and with the yarn that's coming up. Does that make sense? It's not really that I have to needle felt it or anything. I think I could almost even maybe have a wet towel, or a wet washcloth or something, wet my finger, and attach it that way. I want to try it. I love new moon. I love new moon periods. I get all these ideas. Very creative time. And all I really want to do is make something that has the judge go, how'd she do that? That's all I want to do. Of course, knowing the judge, they'd take a good tug on one of the locks and it'd come right out, and they'd go, well, this isn't good. Wah, wah. I don't get along real well with the judges. I never talk to them, fortunately. When I was many years younger, it was like I wanted to go and take the required spinning. Where do you get those classes? It's like 2 years. Gosh, who offers that? I forget now if that's still being offered. A lot of it's online. I don't think it's Interweave. Boy, I haven't thought about that or heard about that for a long time. But basically, you can get some kind of certificate as a qualified to be a spinning judge, right? I know this because I worked in the textile department for the fair, and they told me, you know, at one time I just said, what's the qualification for these judges, and they told me. So it was my goal, get that and be the judge at the state fair. Now I'm like, why would I want to do that? Everybody hates the judges. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to be hated. Besides, I like submitting things. Can't submit anything if you're a judge. It's looking awfully dark outside for. It's only 4:45. Must be getting ready to rain. Maybe they should get better. And I'm not saying that they're not good. I'm saying that everybody who put lots of work into whatever they submit feels like it's the best. How do you handle that? I mean, you have to be, and usually, the people who are submitting, they're all these spinners that there's usually about, I don't know, 8 or 10 of us. They're not always the same, but there's not a large number. Let me put it that way. And this is, excuse me, this is the state fair. But what I'm trying to say is we all make good yarn. You have to get really nitpicky, down to the angles of twists, and one ply is thicker in this one area than something else. I mean, serious nitpicking. And that's where it's like we all like our yarn. We all think we make really good yarn. And it's not just the yarn. Any exhibitor that has, their cherry pie or their grandma's recipe cake or jams and jellies, or you know what I'm saying. The woodworkers. Oh my gosh. I love the state fair. There are so many craftsmen submitting stuff at the state fair. It is just amazing. And the animals. Sheep. Goats, chickens, pigs and cows. I love the animals too. And then there's the fair food. Oh, my goodness. Love the state fair. I'm glad I live close to it. It'd be very hard to go to if you didn't. like growing up, I never went to the state fair where I lived in Ohio. It wasn't close to me. And we weren't farmers. I mean, we weren't agricultural people. It has been geared towards the agricultural community for years. They're broadening that, but that is the basis of it. So I'm going to have to go stash diving in my uh, upstairs stash because I know there's none down here for some border luster if I can find it to go with those locks because I need two singles. They are the most gorgeous brown color, but that doesn't matter. The base can be border luster comes in grays. Well, I guess it comes in white. I rarely have had a. I don't know if I've ever had a white border luster, to be honest with you, because I always go for the colors. I love the grays and browns. But with these really, really brown locks, I think it would it'd be really pretty to find a tan or gray. I guess I could dye it. I'm not going to dye the locks though. Free thinking here. Blue skying. It used to be a thing if you were a senior citizen over when you turned 65 you didn't have to pay to put anything in the state fair. And I waited and I waited and I waited. And the year I turned 65, they took that rule away. It's like, darn. I'm a senior citizen now. I'm on a fixed income now. But I guess I guess they finally decided that they weren't making enough money. It was probably either do that or raise the entry fees, and they do try to keep those entry fees down. So they were waiting for me. Yeah. Oh, there it is. I knew I had the entry book around here somewhere. It's up there. Yeah, I'll put one more on there. I was starting that knitting project and it was a hand spun skein of yarn and it was in a skein. So I needed my Swift to do the ball winder. And I have an umbrella Swift, which I love. And it attaches to the table with the it's metal. The metal is hooked like this to slide in a hole and go down, and then here is your attachment for the table, a clamp. I cannot find that anywhere. I mean, it's always been right there with the Swift, where I store the Swift. I cannot imagine where it went. I looked and looked and looked, and fortunately, I have a second Swift. It's not one I use very often, and I had it stored away because it disassembles and stores away nice. So I got that out. It worked good. But it frustrates me not to be able to find that when I can't find things that I think are right where I put it, you know. It drives me crazy. Oop, hit my Lazy Kate down there. Huh, my music just came to an end, which means pretty much time to say goodbye. I'm going to finish this up though. We're just not having music again for a while. I'll just turn it off. Dinner time, crafty lady. Thank you for the chat. I really appreciate it when people come by, and even if you have to lurk, that's fine. I love to have viewers. Sit here talking to myself. I don't like that. So, have a happy dinner, and we'll see you whenever. Ugh, that was all short. There. I don't know what's for dinner tonight. A lot of times I have it figured out, but don't have it figured out tonight. Have leftovers. I don't have to cook. Had a big salad for lunch, so not going to be eating that much. I still associate Sunday supper with ice cream. That is a college memory. I would go visit uh, one college friend, go to his house for the weekend and stay there. And they were farmers and they milked cows and they made ice cream and everybody ate ice cream for supper. I mean, there were Boku kids. There were kids everywhere as far as, I mean, ages from a little bit older than me in college all the way down to 5, 6 years old. And it's a big family. That's what everybody had for supper Sunday night. They probably had a big Sunday lunch. Um, Funny, I have no memory of that. But fresh milk homemade ice cream, yeah, that's going to stay in my memory. Sunday's pizza night at your house. Yeah, I like that too. Although I usually think of that as Friday night for some reason. I could not be the kind of household cook that says this is Monday, so we're having meatloaf. Every Monday, the same thing. I could not do that. I get the big meal for Sunday dinner. I get that. You know, we don't do it, but I understand when you're raising family, that's a good thing. The weekdays are just, too busy if you're working and kids are going to school and everything. I did go through a period of time where when I was working where I cooked most of our meals on Saturday or Sunday. And then I had lunches from it and you know, my lunch was a supper because I worked second shift, so I could have something here at the house before I went to work. It worked out really good. Ooh, started sourdough pizza dough. Oh, that's really good. All good things must come to an end here. It's just about done. You'll be right over. We should start the official Twitch round robin dinner. There's another name for it. I can't think what it is. Everybody's so pretty much secretive about where they live and just keep it generalized and all of that, that I don't know if there are any other streamers in my area. If there are, they're probably gamers. right? They're not something I'd be watching anyway. But um, back in the back in the day, yeah, back in the day, when we had Yahoo boards, AOL boards, um, that's how I met up with spinners, and actually found out there were a number of spinners in the area near me, right? And we also knew there was the uh, spinning gathering. Senior moment. What friendship spin guild? There was a spinning guild. Okay, near us. Anyway, one time, one of the ladies who was a spinner on that AOL board said, "I am calling a official get together at the waterfront park on this day, this time. If anyone interested can come. If bring your spinning, and we're gonna meet." It was cool, and I still have them as friends, and that was how long ago it's been with AOL and all that. And yeah, that was cool. So I'm sure there are Twitch people that do that too. It's just that uh, I think our spinning community is pretty small as far as locally. Those that stream, I don't think there's that many. What you all chatting about here? Let's see. Positives Craft says, wait a couple hours. Not late enough to assemble the PTS. And she says, see you around 6 p.m. Pacific time out in California, Northern California. Oh, that sounds nice. Well, it's very nice. And Veggie, I know she's in Texas. That's right. Well, thanks for really, really thanks for everybody coming by today. I'll be back Tuesday morning. Oh, Positive Crest says you got together with another Twitch streamer yesterday. She did a craft fair nearby. She isn't local, but she does a lot of craft fairs. That's cool. That's a good way to do it. Very, very good way. Because, yeah, we're makers on Twitch, aren't we? Makers and crafters. Well, maybe that's what I need to start watching for. I'm talking about when I go to some of the craft fairs. Yeah, yeah. Ask them if they know Twitch or if they stream or anything. That may be the way to find out. It would be awesome to meet somebody else. We're good people, We're good people. Veggie, I'll see you maybe tonight. I'm going to try and stay up for um, Snoring Cats stream. So there were not any local spinner. Well, it doesn't matter. Mine is not real local. It's about 2 hours away, and I still don't go. I mean, it's the only one close enough, but it's a couple hours away. So I don't go to either, unfortunately. Yep, veggie. And that all depends on whether I stay awake or not. I had trouble sleeping last night. Hopefully I won't tonight. But I do want to stay up for a little while. So everybody take care. I'm going to be back Tuesday. I am going to be knitting with handspun. So hopefully I have a fairly good amount started on this scarf so you can see it developing and what it looks like. Take care, everybody. Be good. Have a good weekend. Have a good week. And goodbye.